I am incredibly behind schedule, but I think we can still make it. I just finished the Erdrick Trilogy, Dragon Quest 1 through 3, and I'm really impressed so far. Each one has been better than the last. Like I said previously, I've never played a Dragon Quest game, so there are two big things I've learned. First, these are tough, grindy games, but that's a good thing. Second, it seems like a lot of modern RPGs really restrict or try to control how you progress. Oftentimes you'll find guards or terrain blocking your path, or maybe one of your own party members will pop out and say, hey, maybe don't go this way. The game is trying to help you out. Dragon Quest does not care about you. There's a lot of freedom in these games, but if you wander too far, you can come across an enemy you're nowhere near ready for. The next thing you know, you're waking up in town with half your gold gone. But that tension really adds to the fun. So, there will be spoilers. Just a heads up. Dragon Quest 1 was probably the hardest one overall. There were a lot of times I had to stop and grind for XP and gold just to progress. And even then it was a challenge. The story was pretty good. Right away we learned that our character is a descendant of the legendary Erdrick. And by the end, we save the king's daughter, gather Erdrick's equipment, and recover the Sphere of Light from the Dragon Lord, who was an incredible pain to fight. The first time I beat his human form, I got real excited I beat the game, and then real sad when he transformed and worked me. But eventually I got through it. I didn't really like the one-on-one fights. I prefer having a party, and the limited item space was a bit tedious. Aside from those couple things, Dragon Quest was a fun time and a good introduction. Dragon Quest 2 was a huge improvement. We get to play as the descendants of the Dragon Quest 1 hero, the Prince of Midenhall, the Prince of Cannock, and the Princess of Moonbrook. It's like a family affair. So gripe number 1 is handled. No more one-on-one, I get my party. Unlike the first one, this game felt a bit easier until the end. I only really had to grind for gold, and this game is real light on bosses. The first one was too, I think. So right up until outside Hargon's castle, I had an easy time. But the enemies went crazy there, and I had to stop and take some time to level up. It was nice to travel back to Elfgard. We even get to meet the Dragon Lord's grandson, who tells us about the items we need to reach Hargon. Dragon Quest 2 was a pretty big step up, but 3 just wow. One of my favorite things about the Final Fantasy series is the job system. And I had no idea Dragon Quest 3 would have jobs as well. Our character gets to recruit 3 other party members who come assigned with jobs that you can eventually change. And although you start back at level 1, they keep half their stats and all their spells, so given enough time, you can build a really crazy unit. Unfortunately, the main character can't change classes, but they do learn a lot of useful spells along the way. And we finally get a bag. The battle system is streamlined a bit too. Your 3 other units can be controlled by AI, which speeds up the fights a bit, even though they may make some strange decisions at times. The story here is great too, as it ties everything together. We play as the son of the hero Ortega, who seemingly died while fighting Baramos. So you spend most of the game believing Baramos is the big bad, traveling around gathering these orbs to awaken Remia, this mystical bird who can fly you to Baramos' castle. So we beat Baramos, and you think it's over when Zoma makes himself known and you realize he's the big bad. So you grab the Sphere of Light from the Dragon Queen and head to the Dark World, which turns out to be Elfgard. Eventually you defeat Zoma, receiving the title of Erdrick, and it turns out it's our descendants who go on to be the heroes of Dragon Quest 1 and 2. I do wonder how Rubus got turned to stone, if she's a goddess, and why does the fairy flute free her? And if Zoma bursts from the ground, does that mean there's another world under this world that's already under another world? Anyway, Dragon Quest 1 and 2, really good games. Dragon Quest 3, great game. I'm excited to start the next trilogy. Thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.